Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I feel like I have not said those words in a really long time, and that's because I haven't. In case you guys have been wondering where I've been for the past couple months, it's a mix of like just school stuff, so like testing, papers, etc. Also work and college visits and also college forms and AP exams. These past couple months have just been a lot of things all crammed into one period. So yeah, I've not really had the time or the energy, and it's been so humbling to see like all the support that's been coming despite my absence. So if you're new here, thank you so much for being here, and if you have
can you guys hear the rain?
Okay, anyways, if you guys have been here since day one, I also am so appreciative. Thank you guys so much. Make sure to subscribe. I'm gonna be reviewing a bunch of really popular fragrances in under 30 seconds each. All of the fragrances that I'm going over today, I either own or I have a tester of. I guess like trigger warning, if I shit on like a perfume that like you really like, then like, please don't be hurt, okay? Like, take everything I say with a grain of salt, because a lot of these I haven't fully worn to like really get to experience the fragrance like from beginning to end. So if I say a lot of bad things about a fragrance that you really like, yeah, that's nothing personal towards you. We all have different noses, and that's okay. Without further ado, let's speed run some of the most popular fragrances right now. Okay, starting off with Armani Code. Honestly, I don't really get the hype with this one. I feel like it's super basic. It's sweet, it's kind of elegant. I think the honey is really nice, but other than that, I think it's really run-of-the-mill. Black Opium Illicit Green. Okay, so if you know me, you know I don't like the Black Opium line. I think they're kind of nasty. They're just way too strong. I think the coffee doesn't really work for me. They're also way too like sickeningly sweet. So they just end up smelling like black licorice to me. I will say Illicit Green, I have come to appreciate it a little bit more because it has some depth to it, and I feel like it's not as sickly sweet as the original. So Illicit Green is a lot better in my opinion. COCO Mademoiselle. This is really great for if you want to smell like an old lady. Honestly, for a lot of the Chanel fragrances, they smell so old. You're gonna hear me shit on Chanel a lot. So if you really like Chanel, honestly, probably click off. Or don't. Libre Intense. So this is a really beautiful fragrance, but for me, it's just way too similar to the original to justify like spending another like $100 on a separate perfume if you already have the original, which I do. I think it's really beautiful, but honestly, I can't detect a significant difference between this and the original. C Passione by Giorgio Armani. I definitely like this one better than C, but I do think it's a little bit basic. I guess what kind of sets this one apart from being typical run-of-the-mill Macy's Walkway fragrance is that it has this kind of like syrupy note to it, and I think that makes it fun. It makes it kind of gourmand, and I like it, but it just doesn't bring enough to the table for me. Burberry Her. I think I understand the appeal because it does have just a very soft and clean kind of strawberry gourmandy type scent, but for me, this fragrance is so weak. Like, I don't know if it's just like the tester that I was using at Ulta, but it literally did not last at all, and like I could like barely smell it, so the performance is not really my favorite. Victor and Rolf Bonbon. Honestly, this is the most basic fragrance like I've ever smelled. Okay, so the next four I'm literally gonna rate at the same time because they smell nearly identical to me. So we have Valentino Born in Roma, The Only One, Victor and Rolf Flower Bomb, and La Vie est Belle. These all are just very crowd-pleasing, gourmand fragrances with some white florals, with maybe some fruits that might vary from fragrance to fragrance, and they all have kind of a vanilla-y caramel at the base, but they smell literally so similar to me. I honestly cannot tell them apart. Very basic. Good Girl by Carolina Herrera. Honestly, really overrated in my opinion. This fragrance is so expensive, and I personally just wouldn't buy it because I think it's alright. I think it has a lot of really fun notes that I personally like, but the almond is just not present enough. Like, there's not...
Good Girl's not giving enough for me.
I see everywhere people calling it this like super iconic like men killer fragrance. I don't super understand the appeal. DIOR Pure Poison laundry detergent. Chanel Chance Tendre? I don't really know how to pronounce that. Like, I'm really sorry to anyone who likes this fragrance, but this was honestly repulsive for me. Like, when I smelled it, I kind of like Like I didn't like actually gag. I was really caught off guard by how kind of foul it smelled. It kind of, to me, smells like sweet, tangy vomit. Dior Hypnotic Poison. This is such a classic, and I actually really enjoy this one. I think that the almond and vanilla notes are really, really unique in this one. Very common complaint with this fragrance is that it smells like Play-Doh, and honestly, I totally agree. Like, I really do think that it kind of smells like Play-Doh, but in a really, really good way. It also kind of just smells like a sweet, creamy licorice to me, but not like disgusting, bitter, like black licorice. Like, this is like a very sweet licorice, and I appreciate Hypnotic Poison. EILISH by Billie Eilish. I was actually taken aback by how much I like this one because I really did not expect myself to enjoy it, but this is a super warm, musky, amber vanilla. It's really gourmand. Vanilla in this one is just really, really pronounced, which makes it super creamy, really enjoyable for me. On the skin though, it does smell like chapstick, so it smells kind of like waxy on my skin, but other than that, I actually really enjoy this fragrance, and the lasting power is also pretty good. Chanel Chance. Again, you know, kind of smells like an old lady. Perfect by Marc Jacobs. I have heard a lot of complaints about the rhubarb note in this fragrance. A lot of people think that it's too sweet. I personally think that Perfect is a really, really nice fragrance. I think that Marc Jacobs fragrances are usually misses for me, but this one, it's really clean, it's fresh. The rhubarb I don't have an issue with, and the almond milk in the base is what I really, really enjoy about this fragrance. Marc Jacobs Perfect Intense. This takes an already really great fragrance to the next level. I honestly think that this is one of my favorite smells ever, and I know that's a really, really bold claim, but I think Perfect Intense is such a stunning fragrance. It literally gets so much hate that I think is so unjustified. I think I need to make an entire video just like dedicated to this fragrance, but the almond note in this is absolutely stellar, so underrated. Cloud and Cloud Intense by Ariana Grande. Honestly, I don't really think I need to say much about these. These are impeccable fragrances. They are so good. They're creamy, they're synthetic, they just are so unique, and honestly, I feel like this will always be like a favorite in my collection. My Way by Giorgio Armani. I actually really enjoy this fragrance. I have seen a lot of negative reviews on it, I feel like, but I actually think it's really good. I think that it does stand out more from a really typical mall perfume as opposed to some of the other Giorgio Armani scents like C or C Passione. But this one, it's creamy, it's syrupy, it's really elegant. Versace Bright Crystal. Smells like an old candle. Versace Crystal Noir. Depends which one you get, the EDT or the EDP. The EDT, it smells very smooth, woody, and spa-like, and then the EDP is kind of spicy, it's fun, it's coconutty. Both are really, really great fragrances though. Dolce & Gabbana Pour Femme. A little bit too soft and powdery for my taste. I feel like this fragrance isn't potent enough, but I do think that the raspberry marshmallow accords are really fun, they're elegant. It has a lot of sweet and fun gourmand notes without being overpowering or too childish, so I think that this is a really nice fragrance. Angel by Thierry Mugler. The EDP, honestly kind of rancid. The EDT, a lot better. It still has a really strong patchouli, which can be kind of overwhelming, but I do think that the cranberry really brings it together. A lot less cloying than the original. Angel Muse by Thierry Mugler. At times, it can be just way too much. Like, the patchouli in that is still so strong, but it does have this very unique kind of spice that dries down into a really, really beautiful chocolate that I enjoy a lot. Givenchy L'Interdit. So elegant. I feel like this is such a staple, and I really think that this is so unique compared to other fragrances like La Vie Belle or Born in Roma or C, etc., because it just has this heavenly like tuberose in it that makes it smell so light and elegant. It kind of smells like grape candy, but in the most like sophisticated way possible. I think the L'Interdit line is really, really beautiful. Definitely not for everyone, but I encourage everyone to at least try it. You by Glossier. Honestly, a really, really stunning fragrance. I think it smells so clean and fresh, and usually I kind of sway away from those kind of fragrances, but it just smells really, really inviting, and it wears so nicely. I really like how this fragrance smells. Dolce & Gabbana The Only One Intense. Y'all already know what's coming. This is literally like one of the best fragrances to ever exist. Prada Candy. Simple, sweet caramel fragrance with honestly
Some of the worst lasting power I've ever experienced.
Prada Candy Night. It's Prada Candy, but a little bit stronger, spicier, adds some chocolate to it, and it has slightly better lasting power, but still not good. Really delicious though, and I love Candy Night. Cheirosa 62 by Sol de Janeiro. So I'm gonna go off of the body spray because I haven't smelled the Eau de Parfum, but I assume that they smell really, really similar, but it's really nice. The almond and the salty caramel in this are so yummy and gourmand. I think it really does these creamy notes right, but the lasting power is really, really awful. Again, this is the body mist, so I don't expect it to be great, but also I feel like if you spray too much of this, then it starts to smell really cheap. But overall, if you use it right and pair it nicely with other fragrances, I think it smells so delicious. R.E.M by Ariana Grande. You already know this fragrance is so pretty. It is really light. It's like a powdery, slightly salty and creamy lavender. I think it's so beautiful. Ari by Ariana Grande. I think this fragrance is so elegant. If you like fruity and floral fragrances, honestly, this one is going to be right down your alley. Yeah, it's just so pretty and it's really, really sweet. Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. I feel like the sweet fruitiness of the tropical coconut combined with the kind of floral rose does kind of make it smell like pickle juice a little bit, but in a really, really good way. This is a super sweet coconutty type fragrance, and I used to really not like it, but I've grown to appreciate it more. J'adore by Dior. It really just smells like an old woman to me. Miss Dior. I know that there are a lot of flankers. There's the Blooming Bouquet and the Absolutely Blooming, etc. They all smell pretty similar to me. They smell very expensive and they're very elegant, but honestly, these fragrances are kind of weak in my opinion. They don't project a whole lot. They're very standard. I feel like they're nothing super, super special. They're elegant. They smell expensive. Gucci Bloom. I think that it sounds like a super average cliche kind of floral fragrance with not too much nuance to it, but I think that it actually is really, really pretty. I think that it does the florals really well, but because it just centers around florals, it still, compared to other fragrances, is a little bit boring to me. Last and certainly not least, Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. Such a stunning fragrance, and I think it's such a staple for anyone who loves cherry scents, but it is so exorbitantly expensive, so honestly, just get a dupe. I think that concludes my 30-second reviews of some of the most popular fragrances. As of today, there are definitely a ton of fragrances that I left out, so I might have to make a part 2. A lot of these were just based on what was accessible to me and what I was able to smell in store, and also just like what I own. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of these fragrances and what other really popular fragrances of today that I did not mention. Also, if you guys want a more in-depth review of any one of these specific fragrances, definitely let me know and I would be happy to do that. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap things up for today. Again, it's good to be back. I really miss you guys and I'm so thankful for all the love and support. But until next time, I will see you soon.